Hi, my name's Lindsay. I'm a part-time reseller and stay-at-home mom, and these are the items that I sold January 5th through 11th. Now, this is a thank God for eBay and Poshmark post because those are the only two platforms I sold on this week. I had 13 sales, 6 on eBay and 7 on Posh. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'll let you know what my cost of goods were for the week, my total sales, and my net sales before taxes. Let's get started. Let's start with Posh for the week. So first up was this unbranded, no tags, bohemian fringe faux leather shawl. Cost of goods was $175. I accepted an offer for $27. I netted $19.85. This was a Marmot sweatshirt that I found at the bins. Cost of goods was $255. I accepted an offer for $24. I netted $16.65. It actually sold in 5 days. This was a spider, new with tags, fleece lined top. It also came from the bins. It sold in 11 days. Cost of goods was $153. I accepted an offer for $15. I netted $10.47. This was my husband's. It was a Ralph Lauren size large tall button down. Cost of goods was $0 because it belonged to him. It sold in 28 days. I accepted an offer for $22 and I netted $17.60. This was a funny bedtime story called Go the F to Sleep. I sent 35% offers. Nope, sent 30% offers. Cost of goods was $0 because it belonged to me. I sold it for $8 and I made $3.03, which you would be like, why didn't you just donate it? Because it's already listed and I do plan to make a huge donation, and I am slowly but surely going through and taking things down before I move this summer. So I am starting my donation rounds, but until then I've been sending off 30% off offers and 35% off offers. And if it's listed, it's just as easy for me to send off and make $3 versus taking it down off all my platforms and blah, 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 blah. So it's a process and I'm starting it, I promise. This was actually me and my sister's outfit that my mom has held on to for 30 years. And my daughter is pictured right here wearing it because I needed proof that she wore it once. It was a vintage, Francois Bouthier. I don't know the designer name. Anyways, it was a wool 2-piece set. I accepted an offer for $60 and I netted $48 because there was $0 cost of goods. These were mine. They're loft cropped high-rise jeans. Cost of goods was $0. I accepted an offer for $15 and I netted $12. These were also mine. See what's happening? I'm starting to list my stuff that I don't need as well as get rid of things. Yay for moving. It forces you to downsize. Cost of goods was $0. I accepted an offer for $10. I netted $9.58. This was a wed trend dress. The size is like a 2XL, but you know, that's questionable. Cost of goods was $106. I accepted an offer for $20. I netted $18.89. This was a vintage Y2K Tommy Bahama leaf print top. Cost of goods was $215. I sent an offer for $22.94 and they accepted, so I netted $18.60. This was a Life is Good top that was actually a little flawed. My friend gave it to me. It sold in 56 days. Cost of goods was $0. There was an ad fee of 45 cents attached. I sold it for $16.14. I sent an offer and I netted $14.52. This was the Burberry Brit jacket. It sold in less than 2 days. Cost of goods was $255. It sold for $160 and I netted $136.03. And last but not least, this was a vintage United Colors of Bennington, but it wasn't a colorful pattern print, whatever. So I accepted an offer for $12 because I've had this thing forever and it's just been the bane of my existence. Anyways, cost of goods was $106. I accepted the offer for $12 and I netted $11.17. All that to say, that brings my total cost of goods to $12.65. My total sales were $469.63 for the week, and I netted before taxes $336.39. I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Bye.